Let's continue talking about identity and how our identity is not what we do. We can unpair who we are from what we do. We are not what we do or what we don't do. In this video, we'll talk about the metaphor of a downward spiral path. By the end of this video, you'll see how sometimes doing less is actually a pathway to our personal growth. My name is Dr. Park. I'm a psychologist for youth, and here at Through the Waters, we nurture youth mental health. A quick note about this particular video. This is version number 2 of this video. When I wrote version 1 of this video, I used the phrase downward spiral staircase. I have a loved one who uses a wheelchair, and they have decades of painful experiences where they were excluded or they couldn't go somewhere because of stairs. For that reason, I rewrote this video to use the phrase downward spiral path. This loved one and I were actually driving through a parking structure a few months ago where the center of the parking structure was like a spiral that the cars could drive on to go up and down the levels of the parking structures. So that's the image that comes to mind for me. I just wanted to explain what I meant by downward spiral path because it's kind of like not a commonly used phrase. Okay, so here's the explanation of a downward spiral path and how our growth is circular. Have you ever noticed that there are patterns or problems or themes or tensions that reoccur in your life and they keep coming up in different relationships or different situations or different contexts or different seasons over time? It's like these specific themes keep circling back at you. Sometimes I hear people say that they feel as though the universe is testing them on something or trying to teach them something because these things keep happening over and over again. An example might be that there's a dynamic that you struggled with in your relationship with one of your parents, and then you discover that this same dynamic is coming up in friendship after friendship. Other examples might be that you notice a pattern in the teachers you're struggling with in school, or the people you date, or the workplaces that you find yourself in over time. Sometimes people see these recurring themes that happen in their life as a problem and only a problem. I don't actually tend to view it that way all the time. Sometimes we expect our growth to be linear, like we're going from point A to point Z, but I actually see our growth as a circular process where we circle around to similar themes again and again in different ways over time. I do see this as a test or a training ground, but the image that comes to mind is that it's kind of like a downward spiral path. Personal growth over time is like a downward spiral path that we are slowly descending over time, such that our growth is circular. We circle around again to themes and patterns and problems, and the only way forward is downward. Ideally, we might experience ourselves as a different person the next time we encounter that same theme or pattern or problem. Like we might notice how we've grown, but often we struggle to actually see that we truly have grown. The spiral path is downward because part of growth is humility, that we become more as we humble ourselves to become less. Part of maturity is that we can discern what is truly necessary and what is less about priority. So moving down the spiral path can actually mean doing less rather than doing more, subtracting rather than adding, knowing what is enough and being willing to call it. All of that as a process of growth. Moving down the spiral path means we flow with gravity rather than working against it, like a salmon swimming upstream just to die. We hop off the hamster wheel of fruitless efforts or frenetic striving and straining, which is kind of like the default riptide our society offers us through its systems and the expectations imposed upon us by other people. Instead, we flow downward with the gravity of our lives, We have a conscious awareness of how we're circling back to a theme or a challenge, and we're curious about what we could learn through it, what lies behind the door of that portal that is hiding in plain sight. Moving downward also means that the more we learn, the more aware we become of how little we actually know. We have beginner's mind to say, let me be a blank slate as I listen to people and learn from them, and let me have a conscious process of abandoning my assumptions. Now, I have one last thought for you about this downward spiral path, which is that there are decisions involved in our growth. We can choose to stop and just chill at a level and not move onward. We can choose to resist the process, or we can choose to keep moving onward, meaning downward. So instead of onward and upward, I guess we could say onward and downward. Here we go. If you have found this video valuable, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That way you'll be notified of our future videos as they come out, and also YouTube will share this more broadly with people who might benefit from it.